Welcome to another episode of Cards Unbarred. My name's Ryan, and in this video, I'm going to show you the 3 to 4 player trick-taking game Tall Tales designed by Rand. Tall Tales is all about players telling stories and embellishing them as the time goes on. This is all done through trick play, and essentially every trick you're going to be determining what strength your card is in the trick. Depending on if you're playing 3 or 4 players, you'll rank the cards, and depending on the order, you'll be able to draft one of the cards in play. The idea, though, is that whatever you draft is going to be your hand for the next round. So in most trick-taking games, every round you shuffle the cards, deal them out, and they're always random. Whereas in Tall Tales, you're actually deciding what your hand will be starting from round 1, because you are randomly dealt at the beginning. But every trick, when you draft those cards, one of the cards is actually going to be undrafted and it gets removed from the game. There's going to be this embellishment market where players are able to bring higher value cards into the game. And that sort of raises that theme of the Tall Tales. As the game goes on, these stories get more and more embellished. It's really interesting. It's really neat. So let's go to the table and I'll show you how to play. The deck makeup in Tall Tales consists of 4 suits numbered 1 through 19, and then there are additional 12 cards that have rounds 2, 3, and 4 in the 4 suits as well. This is a Kickstarter preview, so while the components are pretty much finalized, things may be subject to change, so make sure you check out the Kickstarter page to see if there are any differences. To set up a game of Tall Tales, be sure to separate the 1 through 9 in the 4 suits, leaving the 10 through 19 off to the side for now. In a 3-player game, you would remove the 1 through 3 of all 4 suits. In this video, we're going to set up for a 4-player game, so all cards will be used. For the cards 10 through 19, you're going to separate them in the 4 suits and create what's known as the embellishment market. To set up all 4 suits, I'm going to show you how to do one. You're going to do the same exact thing with the other 3 suits. To do so, you're going to take those round cards that say round 2, round 3, and round 4 on them and put them in the appropriate spots. So as you can see here, round 2 says place after 11. So you'll take the 10, put it on top of the 11, and then put round 2 underneath that. You'll then put 12, 13, and 14 together, and then put the round 3 after 14. Then 15, 16 will go with round 4 underneath that, and then 17, 18, and 19 will be at the bottom of the pile. Making sure to keep them all in order, you will stack them together to create that embellishment market. You will then do that with the 3 other suits. Next, take the 1 through 9 in all 4 suits, shuffle them together, and deal out 1 card face up to each player, which will be known as their memory market, and then deal out the remaining cards to all players. This should leave 8 cards per player in hand, and randomly choose someone to be the lead player. The lead player will look at their hand and choose to play any 1 card from their hand and put it into the play area, making sure to keep it separate from the card in their memory area. So if the yellow player will lead off, this 5 is in their memory market. So they will choose to play any 1 card from their hand, and they're going to play the 7 gun. It then goes clockwise from there, and each player must follow suit, meaning if they have a card that matches the same suit as the lead player, they must play it. So in this case, the red player has a 3, 5, and 9 of guns. They must play one of those cards, and they will choose to play the 9. Going around the table, the green player has a 1, 2, and 8. They'll choose to play the 1. And finally, the blue player has this 4, which they will play as well. Once all players have played into the trick, you need to check every single card and give it an order of being first, second, third, and fourth. So rank each card. The way you determine that is the highest card of lead suit is number 1, and then going down from there is 2, 3, and 4. If a player did not follow suit, for example, if the blue player didn't have a gun card and they played off suit and played this 8 fish, even though the 8 is higher than the 7 and the 9, they were off suit, so they're going to be ranked lower than these two players. So in this situation, the 9 gun is number 1, 7 gun is 2, number 1 is 3, and the 8 fish is 4. But going back to the previous example where all players followed, 9's 1, 7 is 2, 4 is 3, and 1 is 4. So in that order, all players will be drafting one of the cards that's in front of the player's memory market. You can choose your own card or you can choose another player's. So the 9-gun player would go first and they're going to choose the 8-axe. And when they take that card, they put it face down in front of them near their memory market area, but making sure to keep it completely separate from their memory market, the card they played, and their hand, which of course should be in their hand. But what you are doing when you are drafting this card is choosing a card that you're going to have in your hand for the next round. Because as I said in the overview, when you play in a normal trick-taking game, normally you shuffle up every round and deal out cards. Whereas in Tall Tales, this is going to be your hand. All of these cards that you're drafting will be what you pick up and play as your hand for the next round. So this 8-axe is going to be one of the 8 cards for the red player for the next round. Continuing on though, the 7-gun player will get to choose one of these 3 cards to pick, and they're going to choose their own 5 lasso and put it in front of them. We then come over to the blue player, who is going to choose this 5 fish and put it face down in front of them. And lastly, we have the 1-gun player. They don't actually choose their card that's in front of them or whatever card that was left over. What happens is that card gets removed from the game. It's gone. It will never see another trick or another hand for the rest of the game. What they do instead is come to the embellishment market and choose one of the cards that is on the top and put it face down in front of them. So in this case, they'll choose the 10-gun. Then all cards that were played by players go into their memory market, and those become the new cards that will be drafted for the next trick. The winner of the previous trick will lead the next one, so the red player will look at their hand and choose to play any one card. So let's say they continue the guns and play 5-gun. We continue on the table, going with green. They will choose to play the 2-gun, and comes to the blue player. As we saw before, they didn't actually have any guns in their hand, so they can play any card that they want to. Maybe they want to try and be in last to get one of the cards from the embellishment market, so they're going to play one of their lowest cards that they can do, which is the 4-axe. Finally, coming to the yellow player, they also don't have any yellow, so they can play any card they want. And let's just say they play this 1 lasso. Now, in a situation where multiple players play off suit, to determine who is ranked higher or lower than each other, you simply just look at the number. The lower the number, the lower its card is going to be and the lower the rank it will be. But if there's ever a tie, then the player who played later would win the trick. So for example, if the yellow player had also played a 4, they would be ranked higher than the blue player who played before them. So in this situation, the 5 would be ranked first, 2-gun would be ranked second, the 4 fish would be ranked third, and the 4-axe would be ranked fourth. And those players would then draft these 4 cards accordingly in that order. Again, the last player would choose one of the cards from the embellishment market. If the player chooses to take one of the 11 number cards, that's where this round 2 card is going to show up. And that means, because we're only in round 1 right now, that you can no longer take this suit. You'll have to wait until the start of round 2 to remove that card and then show the new higher values. There are only 2 cards in each suit in round 1. There are going to be 8 tricks. So ultimately the 10s and the 11s of all 4 suits are going to be taken before round 2 starts. However, in round 2, there will be 3 cards in every suit. So this means there's a good chance that all of the cards of one suit will not be taken. Let's just fast forward and say we're in round 2 and players were to continue taking off these cards, and now the round 3 shows up, you'd wait. But if players are taking 3 of the gun suit, that means some of these will stay and not get to that further section. So when we get to round 3, whenever you would remove one of these cards, you just keep it there until you reach it. If you're in the appropriate round, you'd remove that card. So if we are in round 4 and the 12 lasso is still there, you'd be able to keep taking these cards until you catch up to the appropriate number. Either way, you're going to keep playing tricks like this, going through round 1, picking up those 8 cards that you drafted, and starting round 2. At the end of round 2, whatever cards are in your pile is going to be what you score. So let's fast forward here to the end of round 2. All players will take their face down cards in front of them and add up all of their values. So in this case, the yellow player has 10, plus 11, plus 7, plus 13, plus 4, plus 10, plus 2, plus 3. You will then half that, and that is going to be your score for the end of round 2. It's important, whenever you get a half number, you keep the half. You don't round up or down. All players will do this simultaneously and get your score for the round 2. Round 3 and round 4 are played exactly the same, but at the end of round 4, when you add up your card values, you keep that number. You don't half it. Whatever that total value is, you add it to your score that you got in round 2, and whoever has the highest score at the end of the game wins. So to recap, all players will play 1 card into the trick, and the highest number in lead suit will be ranked first. Going down from there, you're going to rank 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and players will be drafting 1 card from the memory market, the cards that were played in the previous trick. Once you've played 8 tricks, you'll have a new hand of face down cards in front of you. You will pick all 8 of those cards up, and then you will play the next round using those cards, continuing the same format of playing tricks and drafting. At the end of round 2, you'll count all 8 of those cards that are in front of you, their face value, and then half it to get your score. You will then play round 3 and round 4, playing tricks and drafting. And then at the end of round 4, you will count up all of the cards that are face down in front of you and add those for their total face value. Add the round 2 and round 4 score together to get your total score for the winner. Otherwise, that's everything you need to know to play Tall Tales. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below and I will get to them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching.